Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about how to find the volume of a prism, so let's dive in. So the volume of a prism can be found using the formula that the volume is the area of the base times the height. And the reason this is so vague, right, the reason why we don't just sub something else in for area of the base is because prisms can have lots of different bases. For example, it's different from a cylinder because a cylinder only ever has a circular base, whereas a prism can have any polygon base. It could have a square base, it could have a rectangle base, could have a triangle base, could have a pentagon base, a hexagon base, etc. And so the equation for the area of the base will depend on what type of shape that base is. Now, I will say this is part of middle school math, and so if the base is pentagon or higher, they will just give you the area of the base automatically. They won't expect you to know the formulas for those. However, if it's a triangle base or a square base or a rectangle base, those are bases that we know how to find the area of already, so we may have to actually do the calculation to get the area of the base if it's one of those bases. So without further ado, let's dive in to the examples we're going to be doing. So the first example is a rectangular prism. The reason I know is because I noticed that this base is a rectangle. And so in this case, the area of the base is length times width. So the volume here is going to be area of the base times the height. And in this case, the area of the base is length times width. So the volume here is just length times width times height. Now, what are the length and the width and the height? Let's identify those. Well, the length is 8. The width is 4. And the height is 5. And in this case, to be honest, if we did get those in the wrong order, or if we put it at a different orientation and decided that this side was the base and then 8 was the height, it doesn't actually make a difference because if we multiply 8 times 4 times 5 together, we get the same thing regardless. And I will mention that there are different orientations we could look at this in, and we could actually make any of the rectangles that we wanted the base, and then therefore the side that was not used as the height, and we would get the same answer regardless because we could turn this sideways or upside down or whatever it is. So in this case, length times width times height is 8 times 4 times 5. 8 times 4 is 32, so we get 32 times 5. And let's see, well, 30 times 5 is 150. 2 times 5 is 10, so therefore this should be 160 cubic yards. And so that's my final answer, is that the volume for which this rectangular prism can hold is going to be 160 cubic yards. All right, let's do one more example. So in this example here, we have a pentagon base, because if we look at this base, we can see the base is a pentagon, right? The base has 5 sides. Now, at this point in middle school math, we do not know yet how to find the area of a pentagon, though there is a way that we'll get into when you reach grade 10. So in this case, they just tell us the area of the base right off the top. They tell you that the area of the base is 43 square millimeters. And so for this one, the volume is equal to the area of the base times the height. In this case, the area of the base is 43, and the height of this is right here, it's 15. And then so 43 times 15 is equal to 645. So therefore, the volume is 645 cubic millimeters. Now, as always, if you do have any questions about any of that, feel free to leave those down in the comment section, and we'll see you for the next one.